Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I want to tell you what it was like to see the Kaaba for the very first time as a revert. Alhamdulillah, I was very blessed to get to perform Umrah for the very first time 3 months after I took my shot. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, it's something I'm very grateful for. So when I did my first Umrah, when I saw the Kaaba for the first time, when I went to Mecca for the first time, it was all very new, right? A lot of born Muslims, they know about Mecca. They know the story of the Kaaba. I didn't really know anything. I was learning what the Kaaba was on the way to go see the Kaaba. So it was one of those experiences, right, where while I'm going through this entire journey, everything is so new and it made it so amazing. So I hope you enjoy the short story of what it was like to see the Kaaba for the very first time. I had asked my friend while we were heading there to go perform Umrah, what should I expect? I hear all these stories of people see the Kaaba and they cry, and I learned about it being the first mosque, and I learned about how it was constructed and the origin stories behind it. And it's very fascinating, right? The Kaaba is a very interesting thing. But I didn't know if I would have a reaction. I didn't know if I would just go, oh, that's a black cube. I didn't know what I would think. My friend told me, he's like, it's different for everyone. Some people, they think nothing when they see the Kaaba. Some people, it's a completely heartwarming experience. So honestly, there was this little seed in my chest or in my heart of a little bit of nervous. Like, I didn't know, I was new to the religion. I didn't know if it was some magical thing or whatever it was. Now, disclaimer, it's very important for us to understand, the Kaaba doesn't have any significance of worship, meaning we think that it can help us. No, everything comes from God, and there's some people who misinterpret that and they think that Muslims do pagan worship. No, we just pray in the direction of the Kaaba. It's the first mosque, right? It's where we perform Umrah. But still, there's a lot of beauty about it because there's a lot of history about it. So, let me tell you. We're starting to walk to the Kaaba, right? When you're going to perform Umrah for the very first time, when you have your eyes down and you're chanting and you're reciting, and then before you look up at the Kaaba and you make dua. So I'm looking at him, I'm struggling, I'm telling you, I'm struggling to keep my eyes on the ground, but I'm doing my best. And we get there, my friend goes, Canyon, look up, look at the Kaaba and make dua. And I saw the Kaaba. And for some reason, what it reminded me of when I looked at the Kaaba, it reminded me of an embodiment of this world doesn't matter. Let me try to explain it to you. It reminded me, it was so clean cut. It was so perfect. It was so square. It wasn't extravagant. It wasn't like these skyscrapers or the clock tower. It was so simple. And when I saw it, I was like, this feeling rushed over me of, have I been chasing the dunya? Have I been chasing money? Have I been chasing these things that have no benefit to my life? And I think why I thought that when I saw the Kaaba was because what was going through the back of my mind is how this Kaaba has been here through all of the changes, right? All of the new revolutions, all of the new changes in the world, the new governments, the new structures, the new countries. America's 300 years old. The Kaaba's been there for an incredibly long time. And I thought, it's gone and stayed there unchanged through history. The amount of energy that's there, the fact that it's not changed, and the fact that so many people have seen it, died, and they're no longer on this earth, right? So it made me think, it's here. It's been here forever, but I'll be dead. It'll still be there. My children, inshallah, they go perform Umrah. They'll see it and then they'll die and it will still be there. And it's this reminder that this dunya is not the goal. It's a beautiful reminder that we should be chasing the akhirah. And I didn't even know these terms during my first Umrah. I was such a new Muslim. If you asked me what dunya was, I'd be like, I don't know, dunya, I don't know, right? I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known what akhirah meant. But I felt it. And the fact that I felt it is very interesting. Now, once I saw it for the first time initially, and then we're lapping around the Kaaba, the energy that came from the Kaaba the entire time was peace. When I saw the Kaaba, I felt peace. When I was around the Kaaba, I felt peace. When I looked at the Kaaba, I felt peace. And I think that comes from the fact that our worldly problems and desires and issues and circumstances and events, there's so much to it. It's so draining, right? Our job, everything going on, these wars, the world, our friends. So much stuff is happening in this modern world. It's so noisy. It's so busy. And when I looked at the Kaaba, There was no noise, right? It wasn't like a skyscraper in Dubai that has LED lights going up there. Like, it's just simple. And it reminded me that the most beautiful things in life, the most peaceful things in life, are the things that are simple, right? We chase the getting on a super yacht. We chase getting a flashy watch and a flashy car. And maybe it makes us feel happy for a little bit, but that never fulfills the heart. What fulfills the heart is sitting around a campfire with your mom and dad, going, hanging out with your good friends and having good food. That fulfills the heart, and that's simple. So I, before doing this, before performing Umrah, was very obsessed with business and very obsessed with success and money. So I had been very caught up in this flash, right? The flash of the dunya, the skyscrapers and the yachts and the supercars, that when I was sitting there looking at the Kaaba, everything that was going through my mind was, none of that's important. Peace is important. Family is important. Good experiences are important. Health is important. Good habits are important. My deen is important. None of these worldly pleasures. And why I say this, why this is so crucial, is because those worldly pleasures or those worldly flashes are right there if you turn around. The clock tower, it's beautiful. The clock tower's awesome. Those hotels are awesome. There's a sky mosque there. The things that are in Mecca are insane. And you could sit there and you could stare at them. But I only wanted to look at the Kaaba. I didn't want to look at the skyscrapers. I wanted to look at the Kaaba. And you must remember, as Muslims, we have to be detached from this world. And I was so attached before going to Mecca. I was so attached to this dunya. And if it wasn't for me sitting down on the marble, looking at the Kaaba and running through my head, how many people had their dreams and their hopes and their goals, have traveled laps around this Kaaba and are no longer on this earth? How many people will have to face Allah because they chose to chase this world instead of chasing their deen? How many people will have to face the consequences of putting the dunya first and not putting the akhirah first? And I was thinking about this over and over and over. Thousands of people have seen the Kaaba. Millions of people have seen the Kaaba. Maybe even billions of people have seen the Kaaba. And yet at the end of the day, it does not matter who was richer, who had more money, who had more experiences, more clout, more fame, more success. At the end of the day, we're all going to stand in front and look at Allah on Judgment Day and be held accountable for every single thing that we've done. And there was something about seeing the Kaaba that embodied this entire thing. Like, it wasn't performing Umrah, it wasn't being in Mecca, it was something about the fact that knowing how many people have seen the Kaaba, how long it's been there, how it's been unchanged, and how we change and we chase these new goals. The Kaaba's not chasing any new goals. It's sitting there. It's not doing anything new, and we're trying to do stuff new. Islam hasn't changed. Why are we trying to find new methods to becoming successful? Allah tells us how to be successful. And alhamdulillah, that's what it was like for me to see the Kaaba for the first time. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, you should subscribe. I'll see you next video.